OBK and Federal Republic of Nigeria, where it was held that EFCC has the power of adoption of measures to eradicate the commission of financial crimes. We also have Ahmed and Federal Republic of Nigeria, where court held that by virtue of the combined provisions of Section 6B, 71A, 2, and Section 13 of the EFCC Act, the EFCC has the power to investigate, enforce, prosecute offenders of any offense, whether under the Act or any statute, insofar as the offense is related to economic and financial crimes. The judicial president, we have AG Federation and ANPP, which the summary of it is that a particular party was spraying money for political intent. What are the prosecutorial limits? We have the Federal High Court, which has the exclusive jurisdiction over offenses under Section 21, like we saw in Bobrisky's case and Cubana Chief Priest. The Attorney General of the Federation has the power to prosecute offenses under Section 21. The AG of States can, with the consent of the AGF, the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Nigerian Police Force, and then the EFCC can investigate, enforce, prosecute offenders. Now, the medium of prosecutorial powers as investigation, arrest, detention, charging, and then trial. What are the limits? Do we have territorial jurisdiction as it relates to this? Yes. If an offense was committed in a particular place, the person has to be charged that place, not in another place. That was what happened in Bobrisky's case in 2020. There was a time he was arrested because of that, but his lawyers did a good job and he was released. I went in to speak about evidence and all, but I'll just skip all those. So the challenges in prosecuting currency-related offenses using Bobrisky's case and the Cubana Chief Priest dimension. Now we have lack of concrete evidence, difficulties in obtaining direct evidence of currency mutilation. For example, Cubana Chief Priest claimed that he was merely releasing stress by spraying money may raise questions about intent. Identifying intent, jurisdictional issues, conflicts between the federal and the state jurisdictions. For example, if Bobrisky's offense occurred in Lagos, would the Federal High Court or the Lagos State High Court have jurisdiction? The witness reluctance. Witnesses may be hesitant to testify due to fear or intimidation. For example, witnesses that were there when Cubana Chief Priest was spraying, nobody came out to plead, to support the case because he had paid every other person around. This is outside the camera. We have public sentiment, high-profile cases. Again, Cubana Chief Priest case. Inadequate legislation, gaps in existing laws may hinder effective prosecution. For example, laws may not explicitly address the social media-based currency abuse because these things happen a lot. And then, like in January, I received my birthday, I received a bouquet of flowers. And it took me a lot, and I had to deface some of those monies that were inside the bouquet. Why? Because the way they sealed it was really, really tight. So the way they seal it, you can't really use a scissors. So in the process of trying to bring out the money, I tore some of them. That was then. Investigative capacity. Limited resources and expertise may hinder thorough investigations. For example, Bobrisky's Instagram post that requires specialized cybercrime units. So I understand that Bobrisky's own case, they took it out. But yet, we know there are some very good tech persons that already took it out. But the main source of that video is nowhere. And then we all know the issues with evidence, that you have to produce that particular device that was used. So Bobrisky's case and Chief Priest's case. In 2020 and 2024, Bobrisky was arrested for allegedly spraying money at a party. Now this was in the open now, not movies. Challenges prosecuting this case may include lack of concrete evidence, like I said earlier, identifying intent and jurisdictional issues. In 2022, Chief Priest was criticized for spraying money at an event. Challenges in prosecuting this: witness reluctance, technicalities, public sentiments. What are the liabilities? Again, imprisonment, not less than 6 months, fine 50,000 naira or above, depends on the court. Both imprisonment and fine. Individuals liable under this section include any person who mitigates, court defaces, just like what Section 21 says, any person who knowingly possesses, issues, or circulates mutilated currency. Any person who uses the naira currency for purposes other than that intended in the CBN, by the CBN, and any other person who trades, again, weddings and all. Corporate liability, we have fine of 500 to 1 million, or as the court pleases. Revocation of licenses. Corporate bodies are liable under this section. Under this particular section include have banks and financial institutions that fall that fail to comply with the CBN guidelines, companies that mutate, cut, deface, perforates the naira currencies, companies that willfully, knowingly possess, issue, or circulate mutilated currencies. Liabilities of directors, so corporate, under the corporate angle. What are the elements of liability? Intent or recklessness, knowledge or negligence, causation. The defense is lack of intent or knowledge, due diligence, unavoidable circumstances. Additional penalties such as forfeiture of assets, closure of business, prosecution of directors and the officers. What are the factors considered in imposing these penalties? The severity of the offense, the intent or recklessness, like in Bobrisky's case, harm caused to the economy or individuals, Bobrisky's case, cooperation with investigation, Cubana Chief Priest case, prior convictions or offenses, Cubana Chief Priest case. The exemptions to, just like in every law, there are exemptions. Now, again, lack of intent, due diligence, unavailable circumstances. I can see the chairman is trying to write. So I'll just skip all this. We have my paper presentation is with them, they'll send it. So let me go over. I also went as far as going to compare with other claims like the US, the UK. I'll skip all those and go down to allied offenses, counterfeiting and forgery. Depending on the jurisdiction, specific circumstances, allied offenses for countering and forgery include counterfeiting, that is currency counterfeiting, forgery of currency notes, altering counterfeit currency, possession, importation, forgery of documents, altering forged documents, possession of forged documents, making false documents, using false documents. Related offenses, money laundering, terrorist financing, financial fraud, identity theft, and so on and so forth. Okay, so now what are the consequences? Using our case study. Abuse of currency. We have the money laundering, currency manipulation, bribery and corruption, political. Now the political implications are influence peddling, electoral corruption, and political favoritism. Cubana Chief Bobrisky's case. So reactions from Bobrisky's case, we have the CBN. Now, a lot of people condemn Bobrisky's actions, stating that the currency abuse is punishable under the CBN Act. The EFCC announced plans to investigate Bobrisky's currency mutation abuse the very first time, but they didn't go ahead with it. The police announced that they were going to do same, but they didn't go ahead with it until this year, when he did it again, and I think there were some political issues. He was arraigned, and then he pleaded guilty, and he was convicted and sentenced for 6 months imprisonment, with imprisonment and without a fine without an option of fine. He was arraigned by the EFCC, a situation which puzzled everyone, and it's still in the social media till today. While in the case of Cubana Chief Priest, he paid 10 million naira, which eventually he was asked to forfeit, and his case the charges were dropped against him. So we also have the cases of Mwabike and the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It's my presentation. We'll just move forward to my conclusion. Okay. I went ahead to create, or rather to draft different mediums, just like the short term, the long term, on how we as Nigerians can implement a roadmap to ensuring the Operation Save the Naira comes to be. Also, I have the short term, which is 0 to 6 months. We have to conduct nationwide awareness campaigns, intensify enforcement against currency abuse, and launch digital payment initiatives. For the mid-term, the medium term, that's 6 to 18 months, to implement advanced security features, enhance distribution of systems, review and amend relevant laws. Long term, achieve widespread digital payments adoption, establish a robust currency management framework, and then foster international cooperation. The nature of criminal offenses, being victimless, requires that reorientation campaign by various agencies, including the CBN, the National Orientation Agency, state government, federal and state ministries of education, banks and non-bank financial institutions are considered. Education and awareness programs, which can be infused into schools, into the school curriculum, are essential for a long-term substance of this current campaign. It is even more important to initiate community development interventions across different groups in order to foster dialogue and discussions, which are essential in challenging this practice. We have leaders, cultural influencers are important, and this particular crew, they are very important in promoting cultural change. Media, both traditional and alternative, must be employed. There's no denying that the practice of spraying naira notes, although it's a cultural norm, is a criminal action. However, challenging cultural norms is a long-term process again that requires sustained commitment and employment of different tools. Criminal prosecution is only but one tool among many others that can be employed, and they must be employed holistically. Operation Save the Naira requires a comprehensive approach to protect Naira's integrity and stability by implementing advanced security features, enhancing distribution efficiency, strengthening enforcement, promoting digital payment adoption, and harmonizing regulatory frameworks. Nigeria can safeguard its currency and promote economic growth. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chinelo. I think we need to give Chinelo another round of applause. Now, last but not the least, I think we'll take Chinyere Moneme before we do a summary of that. You can use this. Can you do your intervention in 10 minutes? 10. We're short for time. Is there a microphone there?
Yes,
all right.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Permit me to stand on existing protocol. I want to thank the organizers of this event and the coordinator for having me. I'll speak to my paper. A lot has been said, and we're running short of time, so I'll just simply speak to my paper. So it's no longer news that the Nigerian currency the Nigerian naira is being boxed in many corners. We have problems of inflation. We have problems of naira was recently hit by the removal of fuel subsidy, and then the dollarization of the economy has not helped matters. We also have market forces and corruption, which has further hit the naira and devalued it substantially. As if this is not enough, we also have the denigration of the naira by mutilation. It's not strange that a country's currency is actually at a symbol of its dignity. You have a country's currency, its flag, its national anthem. Those are some of the symbols of the strength of a country. And Nigeria, by its culture, its self-embraced culture of mutilating the naira in occasions, is by the day denigrating its own currency, both locally and internationally. I happened to be somewhere in the ladies' room in Cairo airport, and a lady walked up to me, one of the attendants, and said, "Ma, please, can you help me? Can you help me? I have a baby. She's sick. She needs to go to hospital." And I said, "Sure, I can help you." She said, "Okay, you have the dollar?" I said, "I don't have the dollar." "You have the euro?" I said, "I don't have the euro." "You have the dirham, the Dubai dirham?" I said, "I don't have it." "You have the Saudi riyal?" I said, "I have this." And I brought out a 1,000 naira note. She simply hissed and walked away. And I was left with my naira notes. Now, that is just one example of what we have done to our currency, which is supposed to be our symbol of pride and dignity. In attempting to criminalize this, Section 21 of the CBN Act has laid down various terms for naira abuse. I'll go down to Section 21 sub 3, which says praying, dancing, and marching on naira notes during social occasion constitutes an abuse and defacing of the naira and will be punishable under Section 1 of this Act. Now, to make matters abundantly clear, it goes down in Section 21(5) to define marching to include littering any surface with naira notes or coins and stepping thereon, regardless of the value, occasion, or intent. So it doesn't matter, or it doesn't stand as a defense when you go to court and say, "Yes, I was just trying to raise money for my ill baby," or or it was just a small amount of money, it was just some coins, or your intentions, no matter how altruistic they might be, it's still punishable under the law. It goes ahead, for the avoidance of doubt, also defines praying, in case we're not clear what spraying means, to mean adorning, decorating, or spraying anything or any person or any part of any person with naira notes, regardless again of the amount, the occasion, or the intent. On the prosecutorial powers of the states to prosecute these offenses, Section 4 of the Police Act gives the police far and wide-reaching powers to enforce naira crimes against the mutilation of the naira. Police under Section 44 have the powers to investigate any person who is reasonably suspected of committing any crime. So that's that. So the police have the powers to investigate and prosecute anybody who is found committing a crime. Now, the EFCC under Section 7(2) have the powers to investigate any person who, in the opinion of the Commission, has committed any offense under this Act or under any law relating to economic and financial crimes. So in my own opinion, the police and the EFCC are vested with the powers to prosecute these crimes. Speakers before me have touched on the Bobrisky and the Cubana chief priest examples, but in my own opinion, Nigerians perceive these prosecutions to be for other reasons. They did not think, the general public did not think that the intent was for the mutilation of the naira. Maybe for Bobrisky because he's a cross-dresser. Maybe for Cubana chief priest because he had a lot of money. So no matter how cultural we think it is, or how used to it, or how much we think is our way of life, by the time you see your neighbor's daughter go to jail for dancing on her wedding day and being sprayed with money, you would have a rethink at doing the same at your own events. So we need to see a lot of more open-ended prosecutions at everyday people, not selected prosecutions of several celebrities like Bobrisky and Pascal Okechukwu. So I'll go quickly to some of the problems militating against the prosecution of naira-related crimes: lack of awareness, cultural practices, inadequate resources. The police at Pangshin would not even consider the mutilation of naira notes a crime. Madam Gojo, you no get problem when I come the report say person spray money. And the money in other ways will be, the exhibit will be confiscated and used for other things. So the police and other, they lack the resources to prosecute this crime. Then we have economic hardship. As it is self, even organizing occasions for the event of gathering money is a means of income, is a means of getting money in itself. Is actually like I'm doing a wedding to raise money. So the economic hardship is one of the factors. And we also have insecurity, ways to address Naira abuse. Sensitization, sensitization, sensitization. A lot has been said on sensitization, but I'll give it a different twist. I watched a YouTube video of the Scotland Yard, the policemen in the Scotland Yard addressing the Yoruba community in London about the ills of something. They were just reporting their husbands. So policemen in their uniform went out to the streets and started telling people on the consequences of giving false information to the states. Now, if we have sensitization by the gentlemen of our security agencies, the EFCC, the police, coming out to give radio jingles and telling people that once you do this, you will be punished. And they back their words with action. I think a lot more. I think it will make our people sit up and find other ways to share, find other ways of organizing their events. Also, encouraging alternative practices like online transactions and others can be increased and by the CBN, so that at events you could just see maybe a projector, and as you just donate money, your name is shown on the screen and everything given to the events. Such advent of technology can help reduce this malady. We also have government can embark on economic reforms to tackle Naira abuse by increasing the fortunes of its citizens who would have some dignity in themselves. When you've eaten and you have some measure of dignity and confidence in yourself, you can begin to respect your environment, respect your Naira. You don't fold the Naira. You don't see them the way we do, every POS stand, the monies. When you see even the texture of the pound, of the British pound, is different. It makes you want to respect it. It makes you want to hold it gently. But the Naira note is rather rough and all that. So even the way our currency is presented, it can be reshaped, it can be touched on a little, so that it will help the public have some respect to it. Because prevention is always better than prosecution. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chinyere, and I really want to thank you for keeping to time. You took about 12 minutes. So thank you very much, and another round of applause for Chinyere. Now, just as a recap, all of the speakers have, including the lead presenter, have taken us through the essence of what it seeks to achieve, Section 21 of the CBN Act, the provisions of it, the prosecutorial powers, who resides in who, while the lead presenter is of the opinion that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission lacks the power, not being the spraying of Naira, not being an economic offense or financial crime, lacks the prosecutorial power to charge persons to court for Naira mutilation under Section 21. All the other speakers are of the opinion that the EFCC has powers under the EFCC Act to prosecute for that. All also have the opinion that the police has the powers to prosecute for those offenses. It is also agreed by all the parties that prosecution for these offenses need to be in the Federal High Court, given the provisions of Section 251, subsection 1D of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, they each have also touched on the different dimensions to how they think this can be curbed, the enlightenment aspect of it, and then the two cases, the Bobrisky and the Cubana chief priest case. I think both cases have generated some bit of controversy, some for reasons that have been addressed here. Whereas in one of the cases, the defendant pleaded guilty, and all that was left was for him to be convicted and sentenced. In the other case, the defendant pleaded not guilty and decided to toe the route of settlement. So it's hard to blame the judiciary or the judge for giving to Bobrisky 6 months, which is the minimum imprisonment term that the law sets for that offense. We'll just run through now to take interactive questions here at the Secretariat of the Rule of Law Development Foundation, and from those online, and in particular from the Glass House in LOKOJA, the government house in LOKOJA. So I'll leave our MC to see if we have interventions and questions from here. Yes, we'll start with my lord.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I stand on the existing protocol. I am Justice Hadiza Suleiman from Kano State Judiciary. My question here goes to Chinelu. According to the provision on the Section 21 of the CBN, trading in Naira is also an offense. But what I want to say here is, it is as if CBN and their staff are the first culprits. This is because whenever you are looking for mint Naira notes, you go around Central Bank. That is where you'll get it for a price. They won't give you just like that, but you'll have to add more money on it before you can get it. So can I say CBN and their staff are the first culprit here?
Good afternoon, Chairman. I beg to stand on the already existing protocol. Like all of the panelists said here, Nigerians, we love spraying in occasions. So I was recently at a ceremony, wedding ceremony, and the MC was saying that there's no spraying, don't spray here. Meanwhile, there's a big box beside the couples, and he was saying, if you want to spray, put the money into the box. Put the money into the box. I don't know, what is the implication of this? Does it contravene the Section 21 of the CBN Act? Is there any implication of doing that? Because people were going to throw money into the box. They were not spraying it on the individuals, but they were putting it in the box. So I want some explanation on that, please.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for giving me another opportunity to ask a question. My name is Chinelu Wozo. I have a question. When we talk about trading in Naira, it just drew my attention to something that has become very prevalent. People who do POS business, it appears to me that what they are doing is trading in Naira because we are using money to buy money. Basically, they charge you, you pay them, they give you money. It's not like it's bank charges. They are selling money. So is this a problem that the EFCC thinks that they can tackle beyond pursuing people who are going for weddings and the rest of them? Then there is now the new thing that is done where people make their own money for their own events, print their own money for their own events. It's not really money, but it's something that looks like money. So you come for an event and they will tell you we have printed something. They will even put the face of the couple on the notes. Then you come, you say, okay, I want the worth for 20,000. They will even write 100 naira, 200, 500, 1,000 on those notes. Is that a contravention of the act? Then the last question is, there is a statement that was issued by the EFCC on November 11th. There was this wedding that took place, I think somewhere in Kano or somewhere. And I think it was Ali Baba that called out EFCC and said, you're discriminating with the way you are implementing this, enforcing this law. And then the EFCC issued a lengthy statement, almost defending the people who attended that wedding, and then saying that even though the couple there that they were spraying them money, it's the groom's family that came from Niger Republic, and that they had invited them. Now, does that mean that if that the person who, does that mean that in enforcement, if I am the celebrant and someone comes to spray me money, even though I'm dancing, I'm not guilty, I'm not considered the person who is guilty of the offense? Is that intendment of the act? Or is the EFCC trying to be clever by half by that statement? Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adam Adedimeji. I'm chairman NBS Lawyers in the Media Forum. When we are talking about the operation to save the Naira, it seems we are concentrating on some areas and ignoring many other areas. You know, in implementing this thing, we usually concentrate on the parties where people spray money, weddings, burials, and all these, Owambe parties. But I noticed that there are many other areas where the awareness is not, supposed to dwell on, that are not there. Especially, when we look at our market men and women, when they sell and collect money, they usually put those money in some musty and sweating areas, and thereby mutilating the Naira. Even the conductors, our conductors, commercial drivers, especially in Lagos, the Danfo people, when you see them collecting money, or the Agberos, when they collect the Naira from people, you don't see them keeping it very well. They squeeze it deliberately. So I think, and there are many other areas like that, we need to concentrate on those places too, instead of concentrating on parties alone. Then, even at parties, our, officers that, get to arrest people, prosecute people on all these things, they target celebrities. Before Bobrisky and Obi Kubana, Chief Priest something, there have been other people that have been doing that. Why not, arrest them, prosecute them? Why targeting celebrities and those who are popular alone? So we need to look into that. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Utako-Abuja is my name. Just a quick contribution to what he said. I think a solution would be to, if we can make all our notes, like the 15 naira, the polymer notes, I think that would help maybe in the squeezing of the money he's talking about. Just a suggestion.
I think we still have just one person here, and then Abdul will come to you in case there are several persons in the glass house and also online. Technical, please, if there are any questions online, please let us know.
Okay, my chairman, sir.
Just hold on, hang on, Abdul, we'll come to you.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good afternoon, sir, and the rest, all other protocols are duly observed. I am Benjamin Achimogo. I don't know whether it's a little contribution on this issue now. One of the presenters mentioned the issue of economic realities, poverty, and the rest of them. My observation on this point is that this issue of spraying money and then abuse of naira, all of this we are talking about, I think is a wealthy people that are more of the culprits rather than the poor, because somebody that is struggling to feed may not be able to attend Owambe to start spraying and the rest of them. So for me, the problem also is not also, yes, everybody sprays, but those that have more tend to spray more than the poor. The point is, the second one is that I also don't see that the problem is lack of awareness, in the sense that we, almost all of us know, and especially the enlightened Nigerians, those that travel out of this country, you know that if you go to UK, you go to US, whether you have the money, you can't handle their currencies the way we do. So for me, it's a more of attitudinal problem on our part as Nigerians. The fact that we are very loud everywhere we are. You want to spray money on the couple. Why don't you collect their account number, transfer? But you want to come out to people to see the way the money is rolling and all of that. So for me, it begins with every one of us. Just have that change of attitude, that whether you transfer the money electronically or you spray it, it will still serve the same purpose. It's more of the need for us to have a change of attitude when it comes to handling our currency and respecting the naira. Thank you.
Let's go to, sorry, just hang on. Let's take the, sorry, technical, do we have any contributions online before we go to the glass house? Abdul.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, sir.
Yes. Do we have any questions,
yes, we have
contributions from your end?
Yes, my chairman. We have about 4 contributions and questions from the government house.
All right.
Yeah. Yes, thank you.
So please go on, Abdul. Please tell us your name and.
Okay, all protocols duly observed. My name is Iye Idama, the DPP KOGI State. Are you hearing me, sir? Okay. I just wanted to contribute to this. I find it very interesting that we're talking about this issue in this manner. We all recall that some time ago in this country, we had this unfortunate situation where people had to go buying naira notes. Almost the whole country, because of scarcity of naira notes. And this thing we're criminalizing now was general all over the place. I just wanted to say that I hope we will not have a repeat of such a national unfortunate situation that happened then. Since we say it's illegal and it's criminal. So I also want us to look inwards as to the things that cause some of these situations, such as the one that I've mentioned. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable DPP.
Thank you. My name is Mohamed Abaji from Ministry of Justice, KOGI State. My contribution is on the issue of the jurisdiction of the courts that tried this issue of the Section 21 of the CBN Act, which give exclusive jurisdiction to the Federal High Court. We all know that most of these offenses are usually done in various places in nooks and crannies of our state. And if the law would be able to domesticate it so that High Court of various states can handle it, I think it will be better. And you now have more prosecutions, as we are always saying that there is people that celebrities that are prosecuted. If we have the High Court of a state that will be part of those that has jurisdiction to prosecute it, it will give more light to more prosecutions. That is my view. Money counterfeiting, that is a federal offense, but domesticated by all states of the northern Nigeria, that the High Court can still prosecute. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Faith Oricha. So, concerning the topic, it says understanding the purpose and scope of Section 21 of CBN Act 2007 and the prosecutorial limits of the state. Is it referring to the state of Nigeria, like Nigeria as a state, or states as in KOGI state? I just want clarification because we're a little bit confused on our table.
No, the state is used in this sense as being the prosecuting agency, meaning, of course, crimes are committed against the state, not, in this sense, state would mean the federal. Because when you commit an offense, you're usually not tried by an individual. Since this is not an offense for which you will have a direct criminal complaint. So it's not used in the context of whether it is Niger State, Kogi State, or Bauchi State. No.
Okay.
I hope that clears it. Abdul, your last intervention, and quickly, please. We're running seriously out of time because we will need to respond. So,
Dr. Chris.
Doctor, you have just 1 minute, please.
Yes, Dr. Chris Balogun. I want to enhance the proposal, like the day-to-day practice by our aged parents in the rural areas and all these low-income should be looking to. The way they keep the notes is problematic. I think they should take the sensitization to them. In the rural, they keep the notes, some under the fridge, under the carpet, on the ceiling, where it gets mutilated by insects. They're coming to the reality. Nobody is talking about the activities of the aboki. The aboki is though that they call it the unauthorized foreign exchange vendors or traders. In fact, MultiChoice accused them of undermining them that they lost about $72.4 million. One of the activities have undermined the naira greatly. It led to instability and volatility of the naira. Through their practices, we even lose tax because they don't remit anything to the government. Nobody is looking at their activity. These activities of the aboki facilitate money laundering and other financial crimes. It undermine the Nigerian foreign exchange regulation. And both buyers and sellers at times they are susceptible to fraud, financial theft, and maybe violent crime. They be attacked, kidnapped. So all these acts by them should be looking into, and nobody is even talking about them, and they are responsible for the demise of the naira up to now, to devaluation, modulation, because at times where they keep their money on top grass, on treated bags and containers, that's where they keep the nairas. By the time they give it to you, see this smell at times riddled with insects. I think they should look at the activities of the aboka, and I know they are the major agents of those people that work in Central Bank and their staff. I think nobody about them. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Doctor. We'll take the last contribution from here before the lead speaker and the panelists can then respond.
Okay. Good evening, sir. My name is Abdul Malik. My question is just about the choice of punishment in case of Bobrisky, because you understand that there are many punishments there, imprisonment and fine, and also combination of both. And the trial court chose to imprison him, even though, given the circumstances, he actually pleaded guilty and also showed the remorse to retract from such a behavior. So I understand that magistrates and also trial courts are enjoined to give non-custodial punishments when a suspect has already shown remorse, also pleaded guilty, and not wasting the scarce judicial time or the state resources in prosecuting the matter. So why the choice of imprisoning him in the circumstances? And I would like us to expatiate more on the circumstances for choosing each punishment in any circumstance.
Technical, do we have any question online before we take?
We have a relative absence.
Sorry, Abdul. We have run out of time. We still need for the panel to take just one.
Just one question.
Okay,
Yeah.
just for 1 minute. You have just 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Shola Yusuf from Kogi State Ministry of Justice. I need the Crescent to expatiate on why he says the EFCC does not have the jurisdiction to try the offense.
Okay.
The offense Section 21 of the CBN Act.
All right, all right.
I'm not grateful, Mr.
Okay, I think before we go to the panelists, I'll just try and answer the second to last. I'll just try and make a quick contribution to the second to the last question asked by Abdul Malik. Now, it will be, I don't think it will be fair for us to now hazard a guess as to why my lord, the presiding judge, decided in her wisdom to give him a prison term. The law allows her to send him to prison. If she chose a prison term, that is her prerogative to so do. Now, the best that we can say is that in some states, there are sentencing guidelines where judges and magistrates are enjoined to look at those sentencing guidelines in imposing sentences. But where the law confers a discretion, more so as in this case, the provisions are explicit. It is not less than 6 months, a fine of 50,000, or both. So if she gave him 6 months, I think to begin to hazard a guess that he pleaded guilty is no reason why she could not have imposed. She could very well have imposed a fine and a prison term because the law allows her to. You can't argue as to her discretion. I think it would be unfair to do so, because if you were seated there, you might have done it different. That does not mean that what she did was not proper. Now, I have my own question. The question is, in both the Bobrisky case and the chief priest, the Cubana chief priest case, now they are charged because they are the ones who were alleged to have sprayed the naira. Now, but the offense created by section 21, subsection 3, includes the man on whom the money is sprayed. Because it says, for the avoidance of doubt, spraying of, dancing or marching on the naira or any note issued by the bank during social occasions. Now, the man who is spraying is different from the man who is dancing and who is marching. But in both cases, the man who is spraying is charged. But the man who is dancing and who is marching has not been charged. So I'm wondering why the selective prosecution. Now, the other aspect is somebody has raised the issue of the fact that it's only rich people who abuse the naira. Now, I think that is like somebody said here, I think that's looking at the issue from a very, very narrow perspective. Because like somebody said, if you squeeze the naira, by the definition so contained in this provision, you are as guilty of abusing the naira as the man who is spraying. And of course, the rich man will not intentionally, I wouldn't say he can't do, but we can't say because he's rich, he's squeezing the naira. So we all are guilty in one form or the other of abusing the naira. Like most of them said, I think the most basic solution to this problem is that of sensitization and public awareness on this issue, and making it clear that it is not just the man who is spraying who is abusing the naira, but going out, as somebody said, and emphasizing all of the aspects of what constitutes abuse, so that we all, in our respective ways, will stop doing those things. Because it also has an implication on the economy. Each time the naira notes go bad, our money is used to reprint new naira notes, because we won't take them, because you get to the point where, like somebody said, the notes are smelling. You are afraid of getting infected because you don't know where those notes have gone to. So you wonder if we are not harming ourselves by our conduct. I'll yield to the lead presenter to answer the question as to why you're saying only that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission does not have jurisdiction to prosecute.
All right, thank you, sir. First of all, I need to make a clarification. What I said was that an argument can be made that EFCC does not have the prosecutorial powers with regards to violations of Section 21 of the CBN Act. So I did not expressly say that EFCC does not have the power to investigate and prosecute violators of Section 21. And the reason I said that is because I didn't have the time to read it because I was conscious of the time. But the definition of an economic crime under Section 46 of the EFCC Act is a non-violent, criminal, and illicit activity committed with the objectives of earning wealth illegally, either individually or in a group or organized manner, thereby violating existing legislation governing the economic activities of government and its administration, and includes any form of fraud, narcotic drug trafficking, money laundering, embezzlement, bribery, looting, and any form of corrupt malpractices, illegal arms dealing, smuggling, human trafficking and child labor, illegal oil bunkering and illegal mining, tax evasion, foreign exchange malpractices, including counterfeiting of currency, theft of intellectual property and piracy, open market abuse, dumping of toxic wastes, and prohibited goods. So from the definition of an economic crime under Section 46, it is clear that that mens rea or that intent of gaining illegal wealth must be present. And when we're talking of abuse or mutilation of the naira, except with regards to buying currency, which is even debatable. But when if we're talking of writing on the notes, tearing the notes, those sort of things, there's no intention to gain wealth. And so it is debatable whether the EFCC has the powers to investigate and prosecute issues under Section 21. However, albeit, I did put a caveat that under, I believe it's Section, sorry, and before I go into that, I think it's Section 6.2 of the CBN Act that lists the statutes that the EFCC has the powers to enforce. Those statutes include the BOFIA, I think the Money Laundering Act. I can't remember the other acts that are listed there. But what is important to note is that the CBN Act is expressly excluded from the statutes that the EFCC can enforce. And so putting all this together, that is the reason I said that an argument can be made. But I also stated that there is no judicial pronouncement yet on the issue. The issue was not raised in the Bobrisky case. The issue was not raised in the Cubana chief priest case. So we do not have a clear judicial pronouncement. So it is left for lawyers to test the law on that issue before we can be sure as to what the EFCC powers are. But for now, it's left to, it's an academic issue that we can debate, so it can go either way. So that's my position.
Okay. Okay. On the question as to the activities of POS operators, I'm aware that recently government mandated all POS operators to register with the Corporate Affairs Commission. So that is thereby trying to bring legality to their operations. And then we do know that the BOFIA is the banking and other financial institutions. So there are other designated institutions that are not necessarily banks. So it's an attempt to regulate POS operators and bring their activities under the law. Thank you very much.
Okay, to answer the question posed by Abdurrahman, right? Okay. Factors considered in imposing these penalties are severity of the offense, like in Bobrisky's case, intent and or recklessness, still in Bobrisky's case, harm caused to the economy or individuals. Now, this is the Cubana Chief Priest case. Cooperation with the investigation, Cubana Chief Priest case, because he cooperated with them, and that's why eventually the charges were dropped. And then prior convictions or offenses. And then to answer my Lord's question, that's an interesting perspective. At least we know the CBN's crucial role in managing the country's monetary policy. Now, there are arguments in support of this, that CBN are the first corporates in trading in this, in violating their own rules. We have the multiple exchange rates issues, the foreign exchange management, devaluation, intervention in forex markets, like one of the speakers in KOGI mentioned. And then people that counter-argue this speak about the regulatory role, which is the CBN's primary role to regulate, and so they cannot be seen as contributing to this. The market management, Naira defense, and all. However, we know that these POS operators and even the forex market operators as well add whatever they add on top, and we are okay with it. We may not be okay with it, but that is the norm because we keep patronizing them. Like we said, there are reforms that need to be done. If we stop patronizing these people, because there was a time we were not using POS. There was a time these people were not out there. But then now you go out and you see, I can't remember last I went into the bank. I patronize them. How much do they charge? 100 naira, 200 naira. Those monies are small, but then, like she said, the what do you call it? The CSC is now regulating them, so they pay certain monies for those things, that is for the platform. How do they recoup their monies back? It's by these little monies they take, and those monies they take are not even so much. So, yes, I know it's wrong. Yes, indirectly, that is what CBN is encouraging, but CBN needs to find a way around it, because they make life easier for us, whether we like it or not, really. Thank you. Okay, there's another issue of dropping money in boxes. I don't think that's violating it, because that is the norm. That is what they want us to do. If you want to pass money to someone, either you transfer the money to the person's account, but in the case where you don't have the person's account, remember the issues of forgery and all comes in. It's not wise putting out the account number there. So it's better to put it in a box. I don't think that's defaces the Naira note, because you're putting it in the box. Even if you're throwing it, there's no throwing in the provision. So just putting is okay, or dropping in is okay, but there's no throwing in the provision. Yes, we can debate this. Okay, so that's basically it. Thank you.
Nelu, I think, like my Lord did ask, in fact, there's another dimension to it. On some occasions, they don't put a carton. What they do is a lady walks around with a tray, and they no longer give out, they don't spray the notes. They just take out a bundle. So you drop the bundle in the tray, and next time you want to do, you drop another bundle in this tray. Now, it is up to any of these agencies to define whether that constitutes spraying. If it does not fall within spraying, then I would say, if I'm defense counsel, of course I'm going to say it's not spraying. Now, if you are prosecuting counsel, well, it is up to you to make a case that that constitutes spraying or adorning a person with, because you must fall within the definitional aspect of the law as it defines spraying. Since it is specific, it does not say it includes, but it defines what spraying is. That is for that. I think the other aspect of this issue of POS Yes, as the DPP of Kogi State said, we sincerely pray we never get back to the situation that we had when we had the Naira redesign situation where individuals were starved of their legitimate monies and you needed to buy money. And of course, Nigerians will typically exploit any situation. So you had a situation in which, by law, by regulation, CBN, I believe CBN fixes how much POS operators should charge on transactions. It's not supposed to be, like Chinelo said, it's not supposed to be more than 1 to 200 naira. But you could imagine a situation in which for 10,000 naira, you paid 3,000 naira. So they give you 7,000, you will draw 10, and they give you 7. The POS operator takes 3. The converse to it is he tells you, well, for him to get cash from where he gets it from the bank or CBN, he has to pay. So you, in turn, bear the cost of paying for it. So these problems are out there. But like all of the panelists say, I think the most basic solution to this problem is sensitization and education and a change in attitude of us Nigerians in how we treat our currency and all of that. On the whole, I want to thank. You want to make a. All right, please.
I'm so sorry. So I wanted to say that I think the banks have started working on this. I was told by my colleague yesterday that she went to the bank, she wanted to withdraw 1.5 million. And they said they can't give her more than 100,000 naira cash. So I think they've started working on ways to regulate this. And then you could see all the POS people on the queue. Yet they were giving them 100. But those POS people have found a way to come like in multiple times. So I think the BVN should now come in place. So if you want to withdraw money, then they have to use the BVN, not just because Nigerians will find a way somehow. But the banks have started working on it. So I just wanted to add that. Thank you, sir.
My dear, it doesn't work. It's sometimes you go into the bank and they tell you today they are not giving more than 10,000 or 20,000. But these guys still get money because you go to the POS man and you want 100,000 and he gives you 100,000. In fact, you say you want 200,000, he charges you more money, he gives you 200,000. But you know, like we all said, there is, for want of a better word, there's the Nigerian factor. Some of these problems, if there's no scarcity, a lot of these problems will not come up. Of course, the banks have generally tried to create alternative platforms for payment. You can use your ATM card, you can go online and do transactions, you can use USSD, but a lot of these things sometimes don't work. And sometimes you go certain places and you need to pay cash. So we'll keep hoping. And as we normally do, we will pray. On the whole, I want to use this opportunity once again to thank the lead presenter, the panelists, Dr. Agada. I think we left out my sincere apologies, Doctor. The senior advocate.
No problem, sir.
Yes. Sorry, before we go off, I'm sure you have had the questions and the contributions. I don't know if you have any last thoughts on the questions that were asked. In 2 minutes.
Well, just to say that, well, the conversation continues. I think there's a lot of work for us to do in this area. If we're going to bring about the change to protect the integrity of the Naira, it's more than just prosecuting people. I still believe that there's not enough being done in terms of sensitization, awareness, and so on. We need to do that. Somebody mentioned the issue of, the gentleman mentioned the issue of people who keep money in trinkets, pack hands, squeeze money, and all that. That's part of the work. at least one of the things I do as part of my own way of promoting integrity of Naira is if you squeeze money and give to me, I won't accept it. So I think all of us need to work in that regard, and hopefully we will bring about the change we want to see. It starts from us, not just from the prosecutorial agency. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Doctor, and thank you for finding time to join us. On the whole, on behalf of all of you, I want to thank the lead presenter, the panelists, for doing justice to this topic. And to all of you who are here, to our colleagues who are in the glass house and who have joined us virtually, I say a big thank you to you for actively participating in this program and for hanging on up until now and having a very, very late lunch. On that score, I want us all to give ourselves a big round of applause. I think we have, we deserve it. On that note, I will yield to our Master of Ceremony to bring this, this session to a close.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. We'd like to appreciate you. Thank you, everybody who would rise to sing national anthem.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians old and proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peaceful battle honored, and this we count as gain. To hang on to our children, a banner without stain. Oh God of all creation, grant this our hungry thirst. Help us to build our nation where no man is oppressed. And so with Clinton thank you, Nigeria may be blessed.
Thank you very much. See you all tomorrow for an exciting session. Please can we have a group photograph with all distinguished guests and panelists?
Can be.
Chairman of the session.
Please, we should all sit down.
Can we have photographers? Please, let's have a group photograph with the chairman of the session and all the panelists. Thereafter, the lunch will be served upstairs for our distinguished guests, while other participants and delegates will be catered to at the foyer outside. Thank you very much. Mr. Dayo, the group photograph. Ushers, where are you?